Hi everyone, this is Richard Maok Riaño Botina, also known in the media as Hacker Fiscalía. Thank you so much for being here. Seriously, thank you so much. Probably you just browsing on the internet and you just found my video and you don't have any idea about who I am. Basically, I was the former detective that in 2002 I exposed the ties between the public employees from the government of Colombia with the illegal armed groups. Basically, for that reason, my life was exposed as well, and it was happened a raid in my home and also my parents' home as well, and also illegal interceptions of my phone number and my landline as well, and also illegal surveillance. And for that reason, also after that, it was a really serious threat to my life. And for that reason, I feel forced to flee to Canada. And I am here since 21 years ago, basically. So this is me. Why I'm here at this time? Because everybody knows in Colombia right now that Ivan Duque, basically, we own and expose basically all those secrets that he doesn't want anyone to know. But thanks to Dan Cohen, those secrets was exposed massively. There is lots of controversy in Colombia. All the traditional media that supports the narco state, or basically the narco power, just show up and really try to defend him. But also the independent media, like me, obviously we try to say the other side of the truth, basically, or the real truth, basically, in the situation, because that's what we know. So this is basically how the narco state is exposing, and also some journalists are exposing themselves. So that's very serious because they try to hide as much as possible, but when they try to defend Ivan Duque, they are exposing themselves. So that's important. Also, I'm here because I know very well about how Otoniel were involved with Dario Antonio Usuga David, basically known as Otoniel. He was involved with Otoniel because Otoniel assigned to him some coordinates, and in those coordinates usually they storage boxes with dollars or cocaine, and also information like MicroSD cards and things like that, where they keep the most secrets of the industry. For example, they keep in one coordinate the coordinate about Mexico. They call like my partners from Mexico, and they kept there the location of the Ovidio Guzman house, and for that reason he was captured in Mexico. Also, they kept the information of Antonio Sequeira Cervantes, and for that reason also he was captured in Mexico. He works for the new Jalisco New Generation cartel. Obviously, Ovidio Guzman is for Sinaloa cartel, and also was captured Matteo Messina Denaro from the Cosa Nostra, the Italian mafia. So all those captures was possible because we exposed the coordinates, the Otoniel's coordinates, secret coordinates that he only has in those secret memories. So one source, a couple of sources basically, they contact me. They say a couple, but it is more than a couple. They contact me. And they say, well, we are afraid because we don't believe to give this information to the narco state. So that's why we found you, and we trust you, and we want to give the information, but also we want to get out of the country and be safe. Say, okay, sure, no problem. I try to basically coordinate everything for that to happen, and it happened. They are basically very happy outside the country, outside Colombia, and also they give the information, and there is also more information that I didn't expose yet. So with the information that we expose, is already that. Basically, the coordinates that send basically the Mexicans and the Italians to prison, and also 22 properties of the narcos was seized, and with those properties, basically, they have a value about 100,000 million pesos. There is a lot of money, about 22 million US dollars. So for that reason, I feel like it's important to speak tonight because the public in general, they don't know what are the secret connections with Ivan Duque, and also with Álvaro Uribe Vélez, and also with Eduardo Enrique Zapateiro Altamiranda, that is the general commander of the army in Colombia, and he has very close relationships with the narcos, in this situation with Otoniel. So let's start. Now, I started this live show with different cameras because it's important for me to try to do some kind of analysis about the situation. I know that some journalists, they say like Washington D.C. is a really crazy city with anything could happen. That's true. Anything could happen. And this time the turn was for Ivan Duque. So as everybody knows already, probably is massive in the media right now. Dan Cohen basically just it was Istanbul with him, and they cross paths, and then they start talking as a, hey buddy, let's have a selfie. And then Dan Cohen started basically telling what Ivan Duque is, right? So it's important that exposition that Dan made to everyone. And for that reason, I want to basically say more things about him, say more things about Ivan Duque and about the narco state that I know very well since 21 years ago, because I was the one who discovered and who filed a report to the Commission of Accusation of the Congress about the paramilitary infiltration, not only in the Congress, also in the Attorney General's office, in the army, in the police, in the intelligence agency, at the moment known as DAS, DAS, also to the Prisons Authority, at the moment it's still known as IMPEC, INPEC, and for that reason, also to the Supreme Court of Justice, and obviously Congress. So in those all entities, government institutions, I discovered paramilitaries having ties, really close ties with those high officials or public employees. For that reason, they want to kill me, right? So I want to save my life, and for that reason, I flee Colombia and I came to Canada thanks to the help of the today President of Colombia, Gustavo Petro. At the moment, he was a representative of the chamber, of the lower chamber of the Congress, and then right now today is a president of Colombia. But at the moment, 2002, he was spoken out also in the embassy, the Canadian embassy, and they say, okay, this guy has very important information, and it's important that the Canadian government try to help him because his life is at high risk. It's an imminent danger, so he needs to get out of the country. And after that, I get out of the country in less than 48 hours. That was really quick. I don't know if at this time that kind of decisions still happen, but that was my reality. I need to get out of the country or I will not be here, basically. Yeah, so at that moment when I discovered that, I was interviewed by the New York Times newspaper and also by Miami Herald, also the El Espectador, the newspaper, the Colombian newspaper, also exposed those foundings. And after that, I came to Canada and I tried to compile all the information during all this time that I have been here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And I made a video that lasts 1 hour and 45 minutes. And with that video, I exposed everything. And basically, it's a compilation of news. Radio news and radio station that was speaking about the Álvaro Uribe, about the former Attorney General Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga. Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga is another person. Luis Camilo Sorizaza. That's what I mean. Luis Camilo Sorizaza, that was the former Attorney General. I was thinking at this time, if Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga was alive, I'm totally sure that he will be the next Attorney General of Colombia for sure. But anyway, so at that moment was Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga, Luis Camilo Sorizaza, and because Luis Camilo Sorizaza was there, he was the head of the paramilitary infiltration in the Attorney General's office. That was really serious. Gustavo Petro basically did a personal request to the at that moment President Álvaro Uribe, but he ignored that request. That is basically to create another position as a basically general attorney ad hoc. So like another attorney that could investigate the paramilitary infiltration, and no Luis Camilo Sorizaza, because everybody knew that that was the corrupt head. And also several paramilitaries decided that also narco people they say the same. So it's important to expose those things. But right now, during those basically 21 years, I have been doing exposing of the corruption, basically more focused on narco-traffic and paramilitarism and crimes against humanity. And those are the almost 800 videos that I have been published during those 21 years. And but the most important thing right now is related with Otoniel. So that's very key. So I have another camera, and it has a meaning. I put it in the camera in the ceiling of this room. And basically in Spanish sometimes I do that kind of talking on the ceiling, basically because in Colombia, when I was in the office, every time there is a decision, usually the prosecutors say, I don't know, we have to stop this investigation because the people from the top floor, basically, they don't allow something. So they talk about the people from upstairs, basically. So from the people from upstairs are the Attorney General, or basically any narco that is a hidden person in the Attorney General's office, and nobody can say the name, but it's the people upstairs. So let's talk with the people upstairs. What will be the message that I will give to those people upstairs? No? That's kind of the main idea about this camera. So let's think that upstairs there is Iván Duque. So what I should say to Iván Duque? Man, have a little bit of respect for Colombia, and also try to educate yourself, man. That's the main message. Obviously, it's kind of impossible, right, at this time to try to request to the former President Ivan Duque to try to educate yourself, because the problem is not about education. The problem is about the moral, about the ethics, about the integrity. That's the main problem, because it's a fact that Colombia right now is a narco state. Colombia is a state failure, of course. There is no doubt about it. And why I say that? Because the paramilitary infiltration that I discovered in 2002 still persists today. Still. Best example, and it's in a current situation, the homicide, I call homicide, of the death, basically the unexpected death of Oscar and Darío. Oscar, what was the name of the guy? Oscar Dávila. Oscar Dávila, that was the police in charge of the security of the president. That guy showed up dead, suddenly, with a bullet in the head. So why happened all those things? So when people started doing like an investigation, and also the lawyer Miguel Ángel del Río, they say that Juan Carlos Pinzón Quiñones, he was the member of the Attorney General's office that basically threatened him, and he said that the investigation will go through and blood will be running out. That's what he said. And yeah, and that happened. And blood ran out. So the guy was shot in the head. Some people say that it's a suicide, but other people probably think that it's a homicide, based on the way how the modus operandi, based on the way how the narcos kill other people. Analyzing the criminal scenes all the time is like they go in a vehicle, two people, and suddenly the driver left the vehicle, and then somebody else come into the vehicle, they shoot the passenger, and they run away. So the modus operandi in this time is the same. Same happened, same situation. The driver left apparently to buy a water bottle, like a water bottle for him. Maybe he was very thirsty. So he went out and he bought a bottle of water, a water bottle. And when he came back to the vehicle, he was apparently shot. But they say, obviously, that after investigations that they did, that the driver came, he went inside the vehicle, and then suddenly he took the passenger, took basically his gun, and he shot himself in the head. So it's kind of strange, no? It's kind of strange, that kind of death, because he paid already like 50 million pesos of the lawyer, for the lawyer to be the defender, like he will be the defender, Miguel Ángel del Río. So in this situation, why a person that paid that amount of money, they want to suicide? I mean, in the first time, if you want to suicide, you don't pay any money. You suicide and that's it. But in the situation, because he paid that money, and also because he was able, he sent a letter to speak and to be in the public hearing, basically to confess, to give any testimony to the Attorney General's office, that shows that he has the intention to show up. He doesn't have the intention to hide or to say, or basically to show himself, of course. But apparently, I say, and also the forensics, they say that he shot himself. But who knows? So that's a mystery in Colombia today. That's a mystery. But the guy that was there, that was Juan Carlos Pinzón Quiñones, that guy also threatened me in 2001 when I was in my office in Colombia. He say, like, a shut up, whistleblower, change your voice, something like that. And that video is public on YouTube. But my big surprise, I really was surprised that he was still in the office. He's still in 2023 working for the Attorney General's office as a high official of the Technical Investigation Unit. So that's questionable. Why Juan Carlos Pinzón Quiñones is still in the office, knowing everybody that he is a known supporter of the paramilitaries. It's also known today, based on the testimony of Salvatore Mancuso, that Juan Carlos Pinzón Quiñones, that was a top member of the Gaulas, that is the police that rescue people from kidnapping, they were in collaboration, really close ties with the paramilitary groups, basically with the United Self-Defense Forces of Colombia. So he belonged to the paramilitaries. Juan Carlos Pinzón Quiñones is part of the paramilitaries. So why this guy is still in the Attorney General's office? He's still there. And basically he was the one that threatened Oscar Davila, and for that reason he's dead today. So the investigation is ongoing, so let's see what happened with that investigation. So now, the subject today, obviously the most important, is the situation that happened with Iván Duque. Why Iván Duque is so important right now in the news? Because, Dan Cohen say that he's a paraco, he's a narco, and everybody knows those things. And he's right. Everybody knows. And today I would like to basically show my investigation. I'm going to read the article so you guys can see this information that for me is very important, because it shows exactly what is the main problem here. Okay, so I will share with you my screen right now. 1 second here. So it's this one here. Okay, so the most important part is this article that I made in Substack. I say Substack because I am in high risk of being censored. So in order to avoid that censorship, I think it's important to be ready. For that reason, I start transferring all my investigations to Substack. So here you go. So Substack here. So the article is called Exclusive MicroSD Memories and Otoniel's Secret Letters. I call Special Operation 2. That's what I call, or Special Project 2, whatever. So I call it Special Operation 2. So I say Uribe, Duque, Zapateiro, the Antioquia government, police commanders, traffickers, and international roots exposed. That was made December 8, 2022. Here there is a video you can watch on YouTube. I share with you right now this link that I have here, and also, I would like to let me pin this. Let me see 1 second here. I'll pin this information here so you guys can have a look. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so I just want to pin the link that I just sent you on YouTube, so everybody has access to this one. 1 second here. Okay, still loading. Okay, pin message. Okay, you have it there. Okay, let's continue. You guys speak Spanish, of course. You can click here. This is version en español. So let's start with my investigation teams from Canada and Colombia. After more than 7 months of investigation, traveling 16,000 kilometers in 5 countries, and with an investment of 113 million pesos that right now, because the operation it was after the 2023 is way more than that. But at that moment when I wrote this article, it was 113 million pesos. Thanks to the donations from my Colombian social media followers, the first of $5,354 and the second from $6,179 and personal loans in Canada for $14,000, we successfully achieved through a special operation 2 to have access to the information contained in the 3 MicroSD card memories, the computer memories owned by Dairo Antonio Usuga David alias Otoniel, who is currently being held in a United States prison. The most important information found in the 3 MicroSD computer memories are 2 PDF files named Book and Book 1, which in total contain 20 geographical coordinates, 10 each, with latitudes and degrees, minutes and seconds north, and longitudes and degrees, minutes and seconds west. So here is the coordinates of the Colombian narco state, and I'll share with you here in the chat. If you guys want to have a look, this information is all in English. Obviously, you can find also the version in Spanish. Yeah, so this is the section. So Otoniel said that this is the north part of Colombia. He said that from Antioquia, so it's in Medellin, this area, to the north shore, everything was paid by Otoniel. Everything. Basically, the police, there is leaks in the police and also basically in the army, so that people belong basically to the Gaitani's self-defense forces of Colombia. So that means that the police and the army were working very close with Otoniel. And Otoniel give they were under the payroll of the paramilitaries. And that's very serious, but that's what happened in Colombia, because in order to have like a narco state, I mean, it's not easy to have a narco state, and obviously this kind of setup is necessary. Yeah, so here is the list of the links that I found. I will read to you in a minute. So in front of each coordinate, there is a description, as we will see below. So they call book 1, that means libro 1, libro uno. In this coordinate, they call my former president. There is another one that say Miguel's things, the Miguel's stuff. Another one that say AUB, that obviously is Álvaro Uribe Vélez, the former president. So that means that in those coordinates, again, Otoniel kept the boxes with dollars as income from the drug trafficking, and also information about the drug industry around the world, and also basically documents about different things. So let's keep watching this list. So the next one is the next one is blacklist. The next one is my family. That means Otoniel's family. My paths. That means all the routes of cocaine internationally. That's why there is, after the publication of these coordinates, you guys saw so many seas of cocaine around the world in different parts of the world, and it's because the information was here. The next one is Duque. Documents Duque. That is former President Ivan Duque. And on top of that, they call also documents government. And at the moment, the government is from Ivan Duque. So double. So Ivan Duque has like a 2 coordinates, basically, where he can store the dollars. In the coordinate of Álvaro Uribe Vélez, my team went to that location. They did intelligence, and they discovered that they're transporting boxes, like almost square boxes, around the 90 centimeters, something like that. And then about other sources that we have, they say that in those boxes, basically they have US dollars as income from the drug trafficking. So that's serious. And those boxes belong to Álvaro Uribe Vélez. Remember that when I interview the national director of security, basically, of air cargo lines, he mentioned that he gave to Álvaro Uribe Vélez $1 million. $1 million. And that investigation is still ongoing. Remember, when I was presenting this investigation in 2000, the year 2000, January 1st, I presented the information to the President of the Supreme Court of Justice. that investigation that revealed how Álvaro Uribe Vélez and Fernando San Clemente Alzate sent 10 tons of cocaine to the Sinaloa cartel. In that investigation, after basically 9 months, because I presented to the Supreme Court of Justice, nothing happened at all. And after 9 months, that information was sent to the Attorney General's office and also was sent to the Commission of Accusations in the Congress, and still nothing happened. But this year, finally, a member of the CTI, the Technical Investigation Unit of the Attorney General's office, he contacted me and he said, okay, man, you want to, let's say more about that investigation? I said, yeah, sure, no problem. So I give my testimony and I write down all the information in 62 pages. And I send that PDF, and I mention in that report one key person, one key witness, and one key associate from Julio Lozano Pirateque. His name was Javier Tapies, Claudio Javier Otálora. It was Claudio Silva Otálora. That was the name. So many names. Claudio Silva Otálora. And that guy was shot with a rifle in the same kind of situation that happened with Oscar Davila. So he was with another guy, another narco. He left, and somebody came, shoot him, and then the other guy left. The driver left. He was shot. So the only people that have that access to that information in the Attorney General's office is Francisco Barbosa, the current Attorney General, también the Deputy Attorney General Marta Mancera. She is the second that have information, access to that information. That means to the 62 pages PDF. Also, Hernandez, the attorney at the moment that took my testimony, and also the CTI agent. Those four people had access to that information about that document of 62 pages, where I reveal all those secrets, basically, all those investigations, and that proves that Álvaro Uribe Vélez, in reality, they sent 10 tons of cocaine to the Sinaloa cartel, and also Claudio Silva Otálora. It was the associate close to Julio Lozano Pirateque, that is the top guy in the narco state. He managed also the Bogota cartel, let's say, and also the route to the Dubai. So it's very important stuff. So because I exposed the name, so after that they killed Claudio Javier Silva Otálora. So that's serious stuff. So, but that happened in Colombia, and happened during the administration that is still ongoing of Francisco Barbosa. For that reason, as a member of Maloca International, we request through the director, Leonardo Rodriguez, basically to United Nations to expose those things that is important, the judicial independence in Colombia, that it doesn't exist with Francisco Barbosa. It doesn't exist at all. For that reason, that request from Maloca International that has a consultative status to United Nations, we request that please let's try to expose in the situation Francisco Barbosa and all the consequences of not having independence, judicial independence, and basically the narco state, they try to take the justice with his hands basically and try to control using the justice system to try to prosecute all the people that they don't like, including me. Basically, for that reason, because the reason that I expose the Otoniel's coordinates, for the reason that I expose Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga, also known as the Invisible Octopus, that he was the top of the Black Eagles. He was offering, this guy, Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga, he was offering $3 million for my assassination. Can you imagine? And for that reason, obviously, I exposed him, and then I called the Deputy Attorney General Marta Mancera, and publicly I called her, and I give the cell phone of this guy, Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga, the head of the top the Black Eagles, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. The Attorney General office never investigated anything. The next thing that happened, Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga show up with 2 bullets in the neck and 1 in the head. This is mafia style. This is the hitman style, right? And behind, obviously, is Álvaro Uribe Vélez. Behind is Francisco Barbosa, Marta Mancera, that they basically work as a team, doing like a good stuff for the narco state. And those things should stop right now. But they have power. Because a narco state, being Colombia, the first producer of cocaine, is a big thing. And they need people everywhere. And for that reason, the Attorney General at this time is in a moment of the worst moment of the Attorney General's office, having links with the drug trafficking is huge. So for that reason, when I exposed these coordinates, that was a scandal. Obviously, nobody showed up this in the traditional media, nobody, including Noticias Uno, that is the independent media in Colombia, including them, they didn't show up. But they're good for other stuff. But in this situation, they didn't touch that. But this information was published by what's the name of the media in New York? I forgot the media. It was also exposed by RT from Russia. It was exposed by the Daily Mail from UK. The Daily Beast. That's the name. The Daily Beast. They published that investigation. They interview also another person key that exposed so many things about Álvaro Uribe Vélez. That is a very important journalist in Colombia, Gonzalo Guillén. You can find him at Heliodoptero. That's the address of the Twitter account, basically. Yeah, so they did investigation. Also, Univision did investigation. They contact a member from the DEA, former director of the DEA. They contact other journalists. They interview him about the situation about happening. That is Uribe sending 10 tons of cocaine to the Sinaloa cartel. And after that, they make like a really nice presentation, really nice news. And they mentioned me, they exposed the video that I made using the social media in YouTube. And suddenly, other, the people call in Colombia, pseudo journalists. Like I said journalists, but nobody knows if they're journalists or not. Because he's part of the system, but he pretends that he's not. But he's part of the system, the drug trafficking system, right? So it's like a little bit, but not really. But everybody knows that he's basically, in some situations, they support. It's kind of interesting to think because he thinks like sometimes he's against Uribe, but in this situation he ordered to unpublish that investigation that I did. So, and published also the investigation that Univision did, basically. Univision did a good investigation, but he was the director of the news, basically, the editor, I guess. And he ordered to unpublish that investigation because, according with him, he didn't do investigation, so that means like it's bad. So if he doesn't do the things, everything is bad. No, he needs to do the things to confirm that it's good. But if other investigators do stuff, no, it's totally bad. So for that reason, they unpublished that investigation. And everybody gets like a surprise because, come on, I mean, really? I mean, they unpublished that investigation. And even today, they stopped the investigation. Why? Because in that case, it was a DEA member that was also connected with this shipping of 10 tons of cocaine to the Sinaloa cartel made by Fernando San Clemente Alzate and also Álvaro Uribe Vélez. And because the DEA was there, Gerardo Reyes de Univision and also Daniel Coronel stopped the investigation. So what we should think, maybe because Daniel Coronel and Gerardo Reyes, they are protecting the DEA interest and they are protecting presumably, the interest related with drug trafficking of Álvaro Uribe Vélez. Obviously, they will say, no, we also investigate against Álvaro Uribe Vélez. But what the evidence shows is that they are protecting that narco state in a different way. But they try not to expose too much Álvaro Uribe Vélez. They try to forget stuff because they didn't continue the investigation, knowing that there is way more people to ask for a testimony. There is 22 people, 22 in total. And they They don't investigate, and I publish everything. All the key names are there. One was in Spain because he was captured after he sent 2 tons of cocaine to Vitoria in Spain. But nothing happened. They don't care to go there and investigate him. And they say that they are journalists. So Daniel Coronel, remember the name, and Gerardo Reyes. Hopefully one day they will say something about that investigation when Uribe sent 10 tons of cocaine to the Sinaloa cartel, basically to El Chapo Guzmán and also to Ismael El Mayo Zambada. So I really encourage any journalists that are watching me right now, just ask them, ask Daniel Coronel and ask Gerardo Reyes why they stopped the investigation, why they don't continue. What was the problem? And then probably we have more answers. Yeah. Okay, let's continue because here we are talking about the documents of Duque that were very basically as a storage were in that coordinate, and also government documents. So it's a double storage basically. Álvaro Uribe only has one storage. In that situation, documents Duque and also documents government, that is basically the same, they have 2 storage in those key coordinates. Now, the other coordinate is for Miss Andrea. They call Miss Andrea, but we know in the investigation industry that they talk about Juan Jose Valencia Zuluaga, also known as Andrea. That's why they put Miss Andrea to try to confuse with a female denomination, but it's not. It's Andrea or Falcon. That was the alias, or he was also known as Andrea or Falcon. In the other coordinate, they put they wrote my good friends. So what do you think? And please let me your message, your comments here in the box down below. What do you think are the good friends of Otoniel? Maybe Duque? Of course, maybe Duque. They are associates. Otherwise, they don't have lots of secret coordinates. And one thing that is important to mention here is like the general commander of the army, Eduardo Enrique Zapateiro Altamiranda, he tried to kill basically the sources, all the sources that are related with this, all the people that were close to this information, they tried to kill them. That's important to the people know those things, and also they try to prosecute everybody that is investigating those things. So it's important that the public know that Zapateiro was behind trying to kill everyone, so that way those coordinates will never be exposed. Because they try to protect the capture, they try to avoid the capture of Ovidio Guzmán, also the capture from Antonio Sequeira Cervantes or Mateo Messina Denaro from the La Cosa Nostra in Italy. Yeah, so that's the thing about Zapateiro. And on top of that, in the book, because the first there is a book number 1, and this is book only, libro, they call it in Spanish. So in that coordinate, show up Zapateiro General. Of course, it's Zapateiro. Who else? Zapateiro General, they call that. They call Zapato like a shoe. In Zapato, Zapateiro in Spanish. In Spanish, a shoe means Zapato, but Zapato is similar to Zapateiro. It's kind of similar. So they call Zapato General. That, of course, is Zapateiro General. So we are talking about Eduardo Enrique Zapateiro, the former general commander of the army. That's really serious. Because in Colombia, people that remember the situation, Ivan Duque, all the time, they say, okay, we have Otoniel, we are really close, we are just breathing into the neck, and we are really, really close to Otoniel, and we are going to capture him. They say that so many times. So my question is, if they have Otoniel so many close, as are really, really close, why they don't capture? Why they don't capture him? If they really know, if they are really, really close, just capture. I mean, what is the problem? But they say all the time, we have really, really close, and they never captured Otoniel. Never. Remember, Otoniel, he surrendered to justice. He never was captured, and he said that to the special jurisdiction of peace. He confessed that he never was captured, he was surrendered to justice. And when you guys see why Otoniel was surrendered to justice, because my investigation team in Colombia, remember that I have 3 groups of investigation, Colombia, Canada, and Italy. So my investigation team in Colombia, they basically did something that produced that Otoniel surrender to justice. That was basically the main thing that we did. In the future, probably I will tell exactly what happened, but that was the effect. And also so many loads of cocaine in different routes that were seized, and that's because our work in that specific case. So basically, we produced we made that Otoniel surrender to justice. That was our positive. That was our achievement. No, it was not the achievement of Ivan Duque. Ivan Duque obviously was there because he was the president, and he say, obviously to Dan Cohen, so who is extradited Otoniel? I mean, he extradited Otoniel because he was the president, but not because Otoniel or not because Ivan Duque's government, the army or the police worked really hard and they captured him. That never happened. Never happened. Why? Because Ivan Duque and Otoniel, they were associates. Basically for that reason. So how you could prosecute your friend, your buddy? That never happened. That's why in this situation, when Dan Cohen basically asked him, he immediately remembered and say, "Oh no, I extradite Otoniel," but that's fake. He said that extradite just to try to pretend that he fight against drug trafficking, but it's not. He never captured Otoniel. He surrendered to justice, and we intervened in that. We intervened for that reason that happened. Yeah, so that has to be very clear. Has to be very clear. And if I get called by anyone in the government, U.S. government, even the Congress, to testify those things, I will go and I say it. I will go. Because it's really important that the United States know those things. So Zapateiro is very corrupt. Ivan Duque is really corrupt. He's a narco paramilitary, basically. He supports the drug trafficking in Colombia, the same as Albert Uribe. I know that the U.S. government supports Albert Uribe because before Uribe say, okay, United States government, I have some narcos, so I give you the names and you guys capture the narcos. So those narcos that Uribe sent to U.S., they help Uribe to be elected. And for that reason, obviously Uribe know them, but at the end they just stab in the back, basically, and they send those narcos, Uribe sent those narcos to a prison in U.S. And for that reason, U.S. say, "Oh, thank you so much, Albert Uribe. Thank you so much for that. So right now you have immunity. You can do whatever you fucking want, basically." But that's in a really bad position. I mean, because why still United States is protecting Albert Uribe? My question is that really the values of the United States? What is the purpose? I mean, because some part of the United States are very worried to go, basically to fight against drug trafficking, but and they assign resources in the Congress in order to fight that. But other part, that is some part of the secret CIA or the DEA that protects the AGC, the Guattari self-defense of Colombia, that they protect the AGC. So for that reason, there is that kind of hypocrisy, basically, of some members, not everyone. Because I'm not accusing, I am not against the U.S. government, of course not. I am in Canada, of course. It's very risky talking bad about U.S. or even Canada. That's not my purpose. Here the purpose is to attack, basically to expose the narco state, to expose the drug trafficking. Other thing that is maybe a couple bad apples, but I'm sure there is not only a couple, but very high members in the U.S. government that are trying to protect this situation. And also protect Albert Uribe, and also they give visa and easy access to go to any pub to Ivan Duque. Thanks God that Dan Cohen exposed him, because that was truth. Everything that he said is truth, and also I add my part. He is associate of Otoniel with Albert Uribe and also with Zapateiro, the general commander of the army. That's really serious. Also, people will say, well, okay, what is the evidence? You have anything about the Otoniel? Yeah, of course I have anything about Otoniel. I have all the audios. So before we continue with this list, I want to show you the audios from Otoniel. So I'll show you the audios from Otoniel. So this is the audios of Otoniel. I'm supposed to create like an English page, but I don't have enough time, to be honest. And I just put it here in Spanish. But here you can see audio one. They talk about bananeras. So basically, here is say that they're talking, and then they say basically that they need to give some money to the people on the banana plantations, so that way they can continue helping us. That means in the drug trafficking. And they say that they will meet later on Sunday. Yeah, basically that's the most important thing of the audio number one. The audio number two, they mention a governor. The governor say, I will do like a nutshell of this translation. So I don't translate everything, but they just have communication, mobile 1 for mobile 10, they say. So basically what they want is, they say, hi buddy, please do me a favor. We need to move the shipment to the port. And what happened with that governor? They say, we should kill that governor. That's what they say. And the other say, Roger, mobile 5 for mobile 10. They say, sure, whatever you say, I will do it. So they will kill. They was going to kill the governor of Santa Marta. But at that moment, Santa Marta, I remember there was an assassination order against Carlos Caicedo. And I personally, when I knew that information a long time ago, I personally called the governor Carlos Caicedo and I say, hey man, you will be killed because I have that intel, and please protect yourself, double your bodyguards, whatever, and do something. And the traditional news, the Semana magazine or Week magazine, they say at the end, the news was not about that the AGC were trying to kill Carlos Caicedo. The news is who exposed those things, and who was hacker Fiscalia, was Richard Maok Botina. So that's the big news. It's not that he will be killed. No, so people, the media, the traditional media, were against me to question me. Why am I exposing this? Or the traditional techniques of public relationships to try to put me down. And everybody knows those things since Bernays. So that's not new. So, but they apply to me. Now, audio number 3. They hablan to 1,200. So they say, hi, how are you? So what happened with the 1,000, let's say, loads of cocaine, 1,000 pockets, let's say, or blocks of cocaine that was sent to Barranquilla? He said, I don't know. I sent 1,200. He said, just have a look with that shit, see what happened. He said, but the people in charge of the port, he only counts 1,000. He just count 1,000. So you have a look. So have a look what happened and just manage those things. That's what he said basically. Audio number 3. So this is now audio number 4. The audio number 4 is about medicine basically. They lack of medicine. They ran out of medicine for the boss, basically for Otoniel, because he was sick. So he said, he said, like, buddy, our boss ran out of medicine. Please have a look how you can give more to him. They say, I am doing that, but it's really, really, really hard to try to bring that medicine to this place because there is basically a ongoing operation from the army or the police, so they are on top of us. So it's hard to do that operation. That's what they say. They say, I don't know what you want to do, but just do whatever you need to do because our boss is very sick. He said that means Otoniel. He said, okay, I'll try to do, but it's really, really bad. I mean, it's really hard to do this thing. That's what they say. Now, the audio number 5. They say, la pata. They say, la pata is the feet, no? Like when you have a parrot and you say, come here. So the parrot go on top of your finger, and that's the context. But in a nutshell, they say, what is happening? What I just say? What I just say that the order was to kill the that man of Santa Marta. I mean, they're talking about the governor of Santa Marta. At this time, nothing happened. So the guy is not dead yet. What happened with that? He say, no, man. No, you know. Oh, he said, no, man, because they say, because he didn't give us the feed, like the parrot. So he didn't give the opportunity. That's what they say. He didn't give the chance to be killed. Basically, he's at home all the time, basically, or at the office, and they never went to a pub, let's say, and being alone, and then a hitman come and then they kill it. So the governor of Santa Marta, he never give that kind of opportunity. So for that's why in the audios they are concerning about what happened there, no? Yeah. Yeah, and so he say, yeah, as soon as he give the opportunity, he say we throw him to the floor. Basically, they will kill him. This hitman go and shoot him. And they will say, okay, you just do it with courage. They say. So the audio number 6. I will play to you the audios after, just to have an idea, just so you know it's real. But I just wanna just quick do like a summary, really short summary. So the audio 6 is about quemando, like a burning, something burning. So Q Bilguera, they say, sorry, okay, they talk about somebody called Bilguer. They say that the shipment is already in the banana plantations. That means in the north shore of Colombia, and everybody is already managed. Everybody knows what to do, and everybody is and they are ready with the logistics. Ready to pack, basically. They say, but you have to be careful because we are basically exposing too much the big guy or the banana plantations. They say if that guy is captured, everything will be seized. That's what they say. And they say no problem. We will manage that. We will see what happens, but we will do something about it. Now the audio number 7, blindarlo. They call like a basically just put like a armor to him. So they say, hi man, what do you know about the governor? What do you know about the governor? Say, I know the same as you. We need to protect him. They say, yeah, because this is really is going really bad. And he say, don't worry, because and that guy we cannot leave him alone. He say, okay, I will see. Now the audio number 8, they talk about the greens. So they say, hi man. He said, don't forget that we have to pay everything to the greens. They call about the color green. Basically, the army or the police. They talk about. They refer to them in those words. He said, I am doing that. I am just making management of the accounting. He said, yeah. So that way you get money. So that way they have some in motivation to do it, no? Because they are on top of us. So he said, just please do fast because they are on top of us. So that way they stop annoying, or they stop annoying, or they stop to prosecute them, basically. Audio number 9, there are 10. It's about the gente de Mexico, like Mexican people. So I say, hey man. So what happened with that load? Because you know that we have to go ahead and send that shipment to Mexico. They say, I am on that. But do you know that you don't know that the people have guns? They say. They all say, I don't know, man, but just you know what to do. But we need to be on time with our people. Just pay more if that's necessary. So they suggest them to pay more to the authorities for them to be able to send the shipment of cocaine, basically. Now the next one is the audio number 10. They talk about General Comandante, the General Commander. Zapateiro, who knows? They say, hey man, the general is really desperate because he doesn't what belongs to him. So because like they're talking about money, like the money for him is not assigned yet to him. But the other say, but what is the problem? What is the problem is that to that guy every month is being paid. So, but he said, but this guy, the general commander, he want to increase the fee basically, and they say, no, nothing. We are not gonna give any more money. Because we give him more money because he lent us some helicopter to take out that money from the farm basically. They say just look at that guy. He wants money for everything. For that reason, we have to straight him up basically. He could be like a really like a top official, but we are not gonna obey him basically. He say just tell to that boss, to the general commander, that we are not gonna give up ourselves every time that he wants. And they said just do yourself whatever you need to do. Hopefully God bless you. He said just do it. Yeah, so the next audio I will be published hopefully, I say, because we have a tiny delay, on Sunday, July 9. That was the next. So remember, on July 9, we'll continue to the publication of videos, documents, and maps that are in the MicroSD cards and USB memories, and also CDs. It's almost 20 CDs where they have all this kind of information stored. So it's a lot of work that I have to do. So at the end, I give some indications about the retaliation of the narco power. And basically, because I did all those things, I owed in Canada $20,000 because the operation needed money and nobody donates at the end. It was not enough. So I said, no, I need to finish this, whatever I pay later, whatever, but I need $20,000 to finish this. And I did it. And we were successful. Ovidio Guzmán were captured. Also, Antonio Segura Cervantes and Mateo Messina Enero. All of them were captured, and also the seize of those 22 properties. It has a value of 100,000 million pesos. That is a lot of money, around $22 million. So that's important. And all of that we did with my investigation teams of Colombia and Canada. Everything is volunteer work and based on donations. Basically to pay the basic stuff to travel somewhere, so to pay the airplane tickets, or to pay any necessity of the sources, including shelter, clothing, or food as well, or medicines. So because that people help, that was successful for that reason. That's the audio from Otoniel. I mentioned before, I will play a little bit about everything. So let's see. This is audio number 1, just to have a look at the audio. Let's see here. Okay.
Cambio para 75. Yo ni idea. Ahora no me lo dejo ver. Para que hagan joder y le queden la plata a esa gente de la negra. Para que esa gente nos siga colaborando. Parece que esa cuestión es usted. Ya mismo me la plata muy bien. Presión para 85. De una firma de una, hágale que no me pongo en eso. Yo para comentar una cuestioncita ahí. En la lengua de salvo, negro. Yo lo decido. Pero hagan ahora que va a contar toda esa cuestión para que la hagan a ver. Una firma. Gracias.
Well, as you can see, they're in the jungle. of course, that noise and everything. So that shows obviously the audios are original, of course. And the same kind of situation are the rest of the audios, no? So if we go, let's go down, let's say to the end or anything. There, this one, let's say. Oh, this is restricted. Oh, you see, they restrict YouTube a little more. Watch on YouTube. Let's see if that's possible to watch on YouTube. Yeah. Oh, sign to confirm. Oh, they have to sign to confirmation because they talk obviously about the general commander. No, that's why. No, but let's see here in Twitter. I published that on Twitter. The same. The one that's the YouTube censor. So it's here. Let's see. 1 second here. Okay. Okay, that's the audio.
Oiga, mijo, el general está brincando que todavía no tiene lo de él. Pero qué marica, ese man se le cumple mensual y puntual. Lo que pasa es que ese maricón quiere subir la tarifa. Ni mierda, ni le vamos a dar más. Si se le dio una esta por prestar el helicóptero para sacar esa plata de la finca. Digo que ese maricón solo quiere plata por todo. Toca afinarlo, puede ser muy comandante, pero ni mierda. Dígale al patrón que no le podemos soltar cada vez que él quiera. Bueno, pues mijo, miremos a ver cómo solucionamos eso. Dios lo bendiga. Hágale.
Yeah, so those are the voices. I present to YouTube, but if you want to have a look at the whole list, just follow this link. I'll give you this link in this is the English version. Let's see here. 1 second. Oh no, sorry. This is Spanish version. This is only one Spanish version. But because we are talking about Otoniel, so we go back to the previous. But this is in that link that I just sent you. There is the list of all these 10 audios, so you can read the transcription and also to listen the audio. No? So we are here before, remember, in the coordinates. So we are talking here about Zapateiro, the Eduardo Enrique Zapateiro, the former general commander of the army. So he was part, obviously, of those coordinates where they stored drugs, dollars, or information in MicroSD cards or USBs or CDs. Yeah, so the next one is government of Antioquia. The next one is police commandos. So you know exactly police is involved, of course. They have like a private coordinate. I sent this information on that day that I published that on December 2nd, 2022. I sent that day a copy to the State Department, to the police, to the Attorney General's office, to the public ministry, like we call Procuraduría, and the police. So that way, and the Attorney General's office as well. So because everybody has the coordinates, so they pressure themselves. That's why I did that way. It's a strategy. So everybody will work because everybody will think will ask each other, oh, but I received this information. Did you receive it? Yeah, okay, let's do it. So, and there is less corruption because everybody knows. So nobody can hide it, and it's public. So there is a pressure of the public, a pressure of the media. So that's why it's important to present this kind of information to make it public. Otherwise, this will be hidden, just receiving dust in the shelves of the Attorney General's office, and nothing will happen ever. Yeah. So for that reason, I make this information public. I make information public because remember, if we are talking about legal assets, the legal asset of the protection of the life is first that the privacy of the information. For that reason, in any single country, in any law or the international law, is allowed to present this kind of information because if I present this information, lots of lives will be saved, and also the people that are connected with those coordinates will be captured. And for that reason, that happened the capture of Ovidio Guzmán, Antonio Seguera Cervantes, and Mateo Messina Denaro. Yeah, so it's important. So the next one is police commandos, my flights. So you can see all the airplanes that they use, all the routes that they use to ship the cocaine. My data. So you have all the USB cards. USD cards from Otoniel. Some because we have the other copy or the other part. My partners from Mexico as well. See, this is the coordinate that they use to. In that coordinate, The Colombian authorities went there, they seized the place, and they found more information, and then they shared that information with Mexico, and that produced the capture of Ovidio Guzmán and Antonio Segura Cervantes and Mateo Messina Denaro. Because after this coordinate, it says here, my Italian friends. That's why in this coordinate, it was more information about Mateo Messina Denaro. That's why all three, they were captured in less than 1 month after I published these coordinates. So the next one is my northern friends. That means US and Canada. The other one say my blonde friends, possibly US and Canada as well. And the last one is my angel friends. We don't know if that's related to the Hell Angels. That is basically a big gang in US and Canada. Or they are like the angel investors, people that help Otoniel in the international way, maybe, who knows. Probably the CIA, who knows. But the information was there. But the Attorney General's office, according with some followers, they saw some people in those coordinates from the government, that means the Attorney General's office. So they went and they seized those places. That's why there is 22 properties seized, and that the value of those properties are more than 100,000 million pesos. Everything because the solidarity of my followers. They donate, and that's possible to pay all the expenses of this investigation. No my honoraries, no my fees, because we never charge about fees. I have my job in Canada, and all the members of the group, they have their corresponding jobs, that they have their own jobs in different fields, in different industries. So we support ourselves with that money, with their own money, basically. But the rest, we have to ask for donations to basically pay the most expensive things. Yeah, that is related with investigation, nothing personal. Yeah, so at the end I publish just a summary. So all the coordinates, the traditional coordinates and the decimal coordinates that Google use are here. So you guys can find exactly and check yourselves. So according to intelligence work, in each of the 20 points, the presence of paramilitaries with rifles and the army working together has been observed, transporting boxes of approximate 80 by 90 centimeters. Due to the circumstance that occurred today, December 1st, 2022, it has been observed that they are moving from those coordinates to another place, and that's why I decided to publish this report to prevent them from continuing to act with impunity. Because probably they will move out and then we lost the track, right? So for that reason, we published this information around 3 a.m. So according to investigation on Zapateiro, it has been shown that he has belonged since joining the army. The battalions related to paramilitaries, especially in Urabá, Antioquia, which is the center of paramilitarism in Colombia. Also in the department of Magdalena, where there are also been an important presence of the paramilitaries. According to an investigation on the coordinates related to Álvaro Uribe Vélez, it can be seen that he is located in the municipality of Rio Negro, where Álvaro Uribe has accumulated great power throughout his career. There is even one of his main estates there. At the end of this investigation, although it should not surprise us, it is striking how within the computer memories of a large drug trafficker and paramilitary such as Otoniel pop up the names of former President Álvaro Uribe Vélez, Iván Duque, Eduardo Enrique Zapateiro, the ex-commander general of the army, Antioquia government, police commanders, traffickers, and international routes. We hope that local, national, and international authorities, as well as human rights organizations, are interested in this report and continue to deepen the investigation. I am willing to cooperate with national and international authorities, including the prosecutor in Otoniel's case, United States Attorney of the Brooklyn Court, Breon Peace, to provide any information that is necessary. And I add also to the U.S. Congress. I will continue to do an in-depth investigation on this matter. Letters from Chiquito Malo to Otoniel. So here is the letter that the Chiquito Malo, the current top head of the AGC, sent to Otoniel at the moment. It says, "Sir, we will make up for the big hats. Full money was given to them. The gentleman from Bogota also has it ready and sends his regards. He gave us all the information about those we want to get out of the way." That means the man on green. emerald miner, that means emerald miner or police. Otoniel appears in audios referring to Julio Lozano Pirateque, a powerful and punished and free drug trafficker, who with Otoniel had been in charge to assassinate the drug traffickers in Bogota, who they considered to be their competition to take over the entire drug trafficking business in Bogota. Julio Lozano Pirateque will be in charge of the business. Continuing with the transcription. Things with Andreina, that means Juan Jose Valencia Zuluaga, also known as Andrea or Falcon, currently in prison in the U.S. and in one of the top drug traffickers of the Clan del Golfo. Give me 1 second. I put this up because I'm thinking I'm cutting something here. Okay, so this live edition. Okay. So, this is currently in prison in the U.S. and is one of the top drug traffickers of the Clan del Golfo. He controlled the departments of Sucre, Magdalena, Bolívar, the Atlantic coast, and a large part of the Antioquia and Urabá Antioqueño, possibly the banana routes to transport drugs. So the app continues to say, are strong and they will say what we do. In this matter, will give us the order, and we act. There was a situation of rivalry between Andrea and Otoniel due to Andrea's great control and power in the drug trafficking business. Also because Andrea started collaborating with the authorities. I gotta go and take care, sir, while the lawyers say what we should do. A hog, chiqui. That means chiquito malo. So I forgot. I'm attaching another message, the name of the large hats that we have on the list. That means high members of the police, possibly commanders. So this is the letter. This is the letter that Chiquito Malo wrote to Otoniel. That he wrote this. And the letter number 2 from Chiquito Malo to Otoniel. He says, sir, we have all the hats. That means police from the Antioquia to the coast. But in case it is time to take care because they can't control everyone. The matter of the government. They talk about the matter of the government. So according to the investigation, it is possible that they refer to the governor of Antioquia, since Antioquia government appears in the memories found or some governorship of the Atlantic coast. It is good to remember that the Uniban, that means company owned by the current government of Antioquia, Aníbal Gaviria, has been immersed in multiple drug transports in their banana boxes, and one of the ports they use is the port of Santa Marta. It is also important to remember that the Fives company have distributed Uniban bananas boxes in the US and Europe. It is his president is Tomonori Wada, and his CEO is the Irishman Hel Sparsoe from the Japanese Yakuza Mafia, which implies that there is a deal at the highest level, so that is this drug trafficking remains unpunished and protected by camouflaging in the business market. That's the quote. It's down because things did not turn out as we thought, and we were alerted. And then you go out, and then got out of hand, and we cannot burn ourselves. I have to look at how we do it. It's sending after Santa Marta. It is possible that they also have control over the port authorities to carry out drug trafficking. We cannot trust that port too much. Looks like he betrayed us. Take care yourself, Chiqui. So here is the Tomoriwa president at the moment of Fives, about the company Fives, that they transport bananas, but also cocaine. And he belongs to the Yakuza Mafia. So Japanese Yakuza Mafia launders money from the other drug cartels through the Sumitomo Corporation conglomerate. Sumitomo also appears as a company that takes the pensions of Colombians and reinvests them. They have quite a good business. So here's the letter number 2. So for the military, police, intelligence agents, CTI, Dihin, Gaula, journalists, or those who are interested in exploring the coordinates safely, I recommend that you buy one of the following 3 satellite GPS, which are the only ones that have multi-band frequency with several satellites and offer a precision of a radius of 6 feet. Can you imagine? To the search coordinate, that is to say quite precise. Buy the Garmin GPS Map 65S, which is the most accurate. So this is the one that my team in Colombia, they buy that one. But, well, I have mine too. This is the one. This is a lower version, but it works. This one doesn't work with three, the one that I have in my hand, it doesn't work with three satellites, but the one here in the screen, that's the best. So you want to find a coordinate, just buy the GPS Map 65S from the brand Garmin. Yeah, that's the one. So you can find this, then buy the Garmin GPS Map 65, also GPS Map 66SR. Those are the only ones, those are the only three most accurate models on GPS market today. So here I share this article in English, from Garmin, where it explains why these three models of satellite GPS are the most accurate on the market. So this is the information. I just shared the link here, just in case you want to know more about it. You're interested in basically geocaching. That's the name that people use in US and Canada. And people play with that. No, they hide some stuff, and then in a box somewhere, they go with the GPS. They go there, and then they take something from the box and they leave something else. And that's a game, no? That's a game. But in this situation, some people went there, also the Otoniel's office, and they seized the whole thing. So there was no problem. Now, be very careful that there may be cops with information, treasures, or mass graves. It is recommended to take a sonar, sound navigation and ranking, or sound navigation to scan the ground. It is a technique that uses the propagation of sound to navigate, communicate, or detect objects submerged in water or on land. Remember that there are several types of sonar depending on the humidity and texture of the soil. So I say here, I have just reported this event to the U.S. State Department, the Canadian RCMP, and the Australian government. I also filed a formal complaint with the nation's Attorney General, Supreme Court of Justice, the Attorney General's Office, National Police, National Intelligence Directorate. También I informed to the President Gustavo Petro, requesting urgent raids to be carried out at all 20 coordinates and prosecution of the former President Álvaro Uribe Vélez, former President Ivan Duque. See, that's the proof that I mentioned at the moment, that Ivan Duque should be prosecuted. But no, now he's in Washington D.C., just having fun, apparently with the daughters, another guy, unknown guy still, having fun after he did all this. So, former President Ivan Duque and the former General Commander of the Army, Eduardo Enrique Zapateiro, among others. I also notified some international media. So that's the tweet that I sent. You guys can see it. December 3rd, 2022 at 12 a.m. midnight. So that's the proof that I sent that. And also, this is the screen when I send the information to the U.S. State Department. So they received the message. Say, thank you, your message has been received. Please allow 3 to 5 days to receive a response. Thank you. So far, I didn't receive any response so far from the State Department. Nothing at all. Even no thank you. Nothing. But who knows? I mean, probably that's the way how the U.S. State Department works. Who knows? But, I mean, it's impolite, no? I mean, they should say, okay, thank you for the thing. Thanks a lot for your effort. But anyway, whatever. So this special operation too was quite expensive, dangerous, and difficult. However, the two donations, the first of $5,354 and the second of $6,179 through a fundraiser called Baki from my followers, were not enough, and I have to ask my friends for a loan in Canada for $14,000. I have to pay the money if you want to help me. I would really appreciate it. I don't want to be completely broke, basically, but I do feel very happy about everything we achieved. Here you can help me to pay the loan. So this account already closed. Also this account about the what this account is this is the only one that is available, basically. So you guys want to help me to recover that debt, the $20,000 that I owe here in Canada. You guys can help me there. Also do donations. That's one key. Because probably you think like, yeah, it's a lot of work, it's very risky, whatever. But that's the way how we finance ourselves, with the help of your donations. But still I have to pay $20,000 in Canada. Even we finished already the operations, but I still have to pay that. And I will pay. No matter if nobody help in Colombia, it's fine. I will pay with my own salary, but it's a lot of work, but I will do it. Everything for Colombia. I love Colombia. I love the culture, basically. The culture, my family, everything. Everything that relates with Colombia is still my home, you know. So I'll remember that forever, basically. So that's why I am very interested in Colombia. So at the end I say a big hug to all of Colombia. This result of Special Operation 2 is a Christmas present for all Colombians. I say because I was in Christmas time. Followers, donors, sources, investigators, and collaborators who participate with great effort in this investigation. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, so that's the investigation. So now, if we continue with the subject today, that was like Iván Duque. I really want to play this video again. It's only 12 minutes, and I want to have some reaction about that in English, because it's very important, no? Okay, so let's listen here.
Well, Washington, D.C. is one of the craziest cities in the world where at any moment you could be walking down the street and stumble across a member of the World Economic Forum, any kind of globalist or a tool of empire that's looking to overthrow foreign governments. You never know who you're going to run into, and that's exactly what happened yesterday to our Washington correspondent, Dan Cohen, who stumbled across the...
One thing that I will say, the Attorney General's office, they were against me, basically, for a... other situation. Like one of my followers came to my channel and I say, you know what, that judge that is in charge of the preclusion of the investigation against Uribe, she's corrupt. Her name is Carmen Elena Ortiz Raza, because I knew her before, and then I have another case with my ex-wife, and for that reason he showed up in my channel and he exposed those things. So I just interview him, and for that reason the Colombian justice, they're supposed to be independent from where the current Attorney General Francisco Barbosa is working with, also with the Deputy Attorney General Marta Mancera. They said that they have an independent investigation, like they're very independent justice, no? But it's not, because for the fact that I sent that I helped to send to prison Ovidio Guzmán, Antonio Segura Cervantes from the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, and also the Cosa Nostra, Mateo Messina Enaro. For that reason, they basically went back to me and they retaliate. And how they retaliate, they put me like a 7.5 years in prison, basically. That's the sentence that they say. I appealed the decision. It's not totally confirmed yet, but that's what the Judge 38 said so far. That is 7.5, now not years in prison, but years at home. That's what they say. But also a fine of $7,888 million. Sorry, $708,088 million pesos. That means around almost $2 million or $2.2 million Canadian. So that's a lot of money. But that's what they want. So they want to punish me that way, and that's not fair. Of course, it's not fair. But that's what they want to do with me, right? So if one day want to go, let's say, to Washington D.C. to say hi to Iván Duque, if they try to achieve that, of course I cannot go. And probably I cannot go to represent Maok International, the NGO with consultative status, because I am representative in New York. So if I cannot cross the borders with our partners in the U.S., then I cannot go. Only because they want to pretend like the Interpol basically take that denounce and then say, okay, Richard committed this crime against the opinion, and the Interpol in the rule, in their own statements, they say that they don't prosecute any crime against the opinion. So, but the Colombian authorities, the Colombian narco paramilitary authorities, Francisco Barbosa, Marta Mancera, they want me to put me in jail. They want me to restrict anything. They want me just to be in Canada and that's it. They don't want me to go to other country, because immediately they want that the Interpol capture me and then they just throw me like a sack of potatoes there in the Attorney General's office or in the jail, in Colombian jail. That's what they want. But at this time, the advancement of the human rights protections are very far already. So the Interpol doesn't prosecute crimes against the opinion. So at that spot, I am safe, basically. I am stay at this time, and I will be all the time in Vancouver, Canada, or other cities, whatever, but it will be in Canada. But that's kind of the trick part that the corrupt government they try to do now. I mean, more than government, the corrupt justice in the head of Francisco Barbosa and Marta Mancera. Okay, let's continue listening the interview here.
The former president of Colombia, Iván Duque, who just happened to be at a restaurant nearby, and Dan Cohen caught up with him. And Dan, this is blown up on social media. So what exactly happened yesterday?
So when they mentioned that Iván Duque is in a restaurant, I cannot go to a restaurant here in Canada. I mean, it's not that easy as to go anywhere. In like a Latin restaurant, I'm not going. Because, see me here with this body armor? The body armor is for a reason. Also because Álvaro Uribe Vélez, he threatened me. And also Luis Raúl Escobar Saldarriaga, they offered $3 million to kill me. And Álvaro Uribe Vélez and other people, they complete in total 18 pages of threats. 18 pages. And that information obviously is in the hands of the RCMP. And the Canadian government, they authorize for me to use this body armor because in Canada, especially in BC, is not allowed to use body armor. It's illegal. It's illegal to use body armor, except if you have a permit. So I have my own permit. And also it's illegal to have guns. People can have guns to shoot in the range as a sport, but not to carry in the bus or in the car. Just no, it has to be in a special box in the trunk. Yeah, so it's they have special requirements. Yeah, so in my situation, yeah, of course it's different. So when I see the term social justice, let's say, when I see like Iván Duque with all the crimes that committed in Colombia, that he won the elections because the help of the drug traffickers, like Otoniel. And now I am on the exile in Canada since 21 years ago, and I'm still using body armor. I mean, is that fair? Is that really fair? Knowing that I was the one who discovered that the paramilitary infiltration in the government, basically, as I say already, in the Attorney General's office, National Police, National Army, National Intelligence Agency, known as DAS, National Prisons Authority, known as IMPEC, Supreme Court of Justice, and the Congress. I discovered the paramilitaries in all those places. And for that reason, I received the threats, and that's why I'm in Canada. And right now, the threats continue. But, well, some people say, okay, if you are a police officer and you are a detective, I mean, that's the job. It's risky. Just go ahead, just assume the responsibility, and just move forward. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm moving forward in the investigation. Obviously, I'm continuing doing investigation because that's a career. That's what I want to do. And in Canada, we have a freedom of expression. So, based on that right that I have, so I am exposing those things in social media because in Colombia it's impossible. So some sources in Colombia, they contact me because they believe me, they see my resume or my achievements from the exile. And they say, yeah, I mean, Richard is somebody that people can believe, and he's a good guy. He did good investigations. That's what they say. Of course, if you go to my website, you can find all the investigations there. I'll type here for you where are all my investigations. So there is no doubt about what I did, because right now the Uribe's political party, they try to put me down, of course, and they try to basically go against my reputation. So in the media, let's say when the judge, they try to say that possibly I go to 10, I will be sentenced, like a possibility to 10 years. Before the final decision, the traditional media, like a Semana Magazine, El Tiempo, W Radio, Blue Radio, they say that I will be in prison for 10 years. So they put me down immediately, everybody at the same time. That was like a very coordinated. So basically, the media at that point, they act as a mafia. It's like that. So when people talk about freedom of press, I mean, what press? I mean, that's no press. That's just like what is that? It's a mafia. So there's a freedom of mafias in Colombia. Well, obviously, the freedom of mafias in Colombia. Otherwise, there will be no AGC, ELN, or FARC, of course. But so what we are playing here? What is the real matter here, right? So we need to get to the point. So what Colombia narcos and apparently politicians they try to do, or the judges, So here in this link that I sent you, you guys can find all the information. Yeah, so that's what happened. So let's continue looking here. Let's continue watching this interview. That's interesting.
Yeah, Clayton, I was out and about yesterday and just happened to cross paths in Capitol Hill with Ivan Duque, who was president of Colombia from 2018 to 2022, last year. He is considered by many to be the absolute worst president in Colombian history, with an extraordinary amount of blood on his hands and stolen money in his pocket. So naturally, he's living here in Washington, D.C. So watch my interaction with former president of Colombia, Ivan Duque.
Thank you to both, because the word is really good, really good. And that's truth. Everything that they say is truth. That's true.
Señor presidente,
Sí.
un honor.
¿Cómo te va?
Muy bien.
¿Cómo te ha ido?
Muy bien, gracias, gracias. If I speak English, is that all right?
Yeah, of
It's an
course.
honor to meet you.
You know what? The technique that they use, I also use when I call the former president Álvaro Uribe to say that please surrender to justice. National or international, but surrender to justice. And Uribe, pues, obviously, he react to me as well, and he said that he will be sue me for those things. Yeah. So he said that. I will pass at the end. So if people that say, oh, you just search in my YouTube channel, you can search celular Uribe. If you search that, you will find it. But I will try to search and then I will pass at the end.
The honor is mine. How are you doing?
I'm
man?
doing well. I'm doing well. Can we take a selfie?
Sure, man.
Okay. 1, 2. Can we say Ñeñe Hernandez?
No,
Ñeñe-
Ñeñe
Oh, wait.
Hernandez. He's a motherfucker, man.
Man, he paid for your campaign.
He
What are you
did it.
talking?
See, it's a motherfucker, man. But why a motherfucker? I mean, how many times you have hugged with a motherfucker, basically? It is a motherfucker. Why you show up in the whole pictures? Why you show up everywhere in those pictures? I mean, doesn't make sense. So obviously, it's fake. Ivan Duque is really fake. Well, I will stop here for a minute, and I will show up. But if I start, I have to start again. So let's see. We are in the minute 129. I think that's the solution. Give me 1 second. 129. I'll go back to that. But I want to share with you some other screen that I think is important to share with you. It's about how Ivan Duque is faker, basically. He fake everything. He fake everything. I will show you one part that I think is important to analyze, especially for the international media that probably doesn't know those things. But I really want to share that with you tonight. So it's about his physical presentation, his appeal, right? So basically, this is Ivan Duque. So he's a young guy, black hair. I mean, he's not totally likable as a serious president. He looks like a guy that just came out from high school, right? Something like that. He doesn't have any green card or anything, just like that. So I guess the public relations department, they say, oh no, but this guy looks so basic, no? Like a little bit dumb, because I mean he doesn't have any essence. What would you do? So this is the picture that was taken at the moment, and then this one. So you can see obviously very carefully the face, and you don't see any green card, white hair. Well, I mean I don't see a very big amount of black hair. The eyebrows is black, and there is not a signs of being old, no? Old and with wrinkles and with white hair, right? Next picture. So here in the campaign as well, besides Gustavo Petro, Gustavo Petro is older than Ivan Duque, but you see Ivan Duque there. I think they put a little bit a tint in the hair, but still it's a little bit dark, no? A little bit dark. But they try to put some kind of white hair, just to seem appear like he's old and he's experienced. That's the image that they try to pretend to show from Ivan Duque, and they change it. So Gustavo Petro is older. He has wrinkles, and Ivan Duque with baby face and with the white hair. Doesn't make sense. Everybody knew in Colombia that Ivan Duque, he tinted the hair to white to show he's an older guy, he's serious, he's experienced, because he was a teenager, basically, almost like a face teenager. So how is possible a person with that white hair with no wrinkles at all? I mean, is that like an ex-trans? I mean, I don't want to offend the LGBT community, but I mean, Ivan Duque is free to express himself as anyone he wants. Huh? He wants to put the hair blue, that's fine. White is fine, but don't try to confuse us, or don't try to confuse the public opinion, trying to think like this guy's experience when he tried to tint the hair white, of white color. No, that's not the way, but everybody knows. So it looks ridiculous, right? It's very ridiculous. All the hair white and then the eyebrows black. And let's see. Here as well, but Uribe obviously is old, and you can see the difference of the white. But with Duque, we see the roots, the black roots. Still, you see it in the head. Here again, he put more bleach, basically. He looks like like a cotton, white cotton, get out from the dryer, like a Pink Panther. The same. Now again, more white, because apparently it looks more old, but the eyebrows black. So that's kind of that's kind of the doll, basically, that they try to present to the Colombians to say, oh, this guy is experienced and he's serious. No, he's not serious. Oh, here is, see, the young guy, no wrinkles and white hair. Doesn't match. I mean, they try to, create their own character, but it doesn't work. It doesn't match. It doesn't make sense. Here again, white hair with pink tight. Well, maybe much. I think the good looks the pink on him. And now here, I think let's see, it's the lighting, but he looks more pinkish. And still the white hair. You see some roots, black roots there. Oh, here, everything white. So apparently it looks more old, but with a baby face. So you guys can see, no? And here is a oops. They forgot to put a little bit more tint, like a more bleach here in this part, because it's black, no? I mean, it's really black, and on top and in the back you can see it with roots on the side, and also roots in the back. That's the fake. That's the fake Ivan Duque. Faker, basically. And that's the president that we have in Colombia for 4 years. And he was paid by the narcos, of course. Yeah. So that's the picture. And now that's how it looks with a little bit more hair in the face, and yeah. But it's still that doesn't make sense. But that's the puppet. No? That's the puppet that Álvaro Uribe Vélez has, and the Uribe also, and this guy is the puppet of United States. Of course, that's not secret. Obviously not. Yeah. So that's Ivan Duque. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue with the previous one that we have here. Let me go back. Switch here very quick here. So will be this one. Give me 1 second. Here. Okay. So let's go back to the page that we had before. A minute 121, 129.
Talking about
You did it.
how much cocaine paid for your campaign.
Nobody
How
paid
much
a single-
blood? How many people did
No
you have
blood,
ordered
man.
killed? What about what's his name? Alexis López Tapia, the Nazi who you brought in to advise?
No, unless you start. You should be informed, man.
No, I am. I know
you're
all
not
about that
informed.
dirty shit you did.
No, you're not informed, and you should, man.
How
You
much
should-
cocaine paid for your presidency?
You should educate yourself.
How much cocaine?
Yeah, I would say it's not like you should educate yourself. I think Colombia will tell Ivan Duque that you should be educate yourself. So Ivan Duque should educate himself, but more than educate, he's faking everything, right? He's faking everything. The hair, the own appearance, to try to pretend to be more serious, more mature, more experienced, but he's not. And he's an associate from Otoniel. That's the truth. Now, that United States tried to preserve that guy, try to pretend to keep it there in United States like nothing happened, well, that's a bad reputation for United States. If United States doesn't want to be on the spotlight because he's supporting drug traffickers in a high level, like a former president, let's see what Otoniel say when the HEP try to contact him to see what they say. I have more information about Otoniel. It's a lot of information, more than 20 CDs, more MicroSD cards, maps, more videos. So I hope to present that on July 9. It's a Sunday, yeah, July 9. So let's see what happens. Because it's a lot of information, so I didn't finish. But I will present that on July 9. Hopefully. If I don't present that on July 9, don't kill me in social media. I mean, just say wait a little bit more, but I will present everything. So let's see what I find. Let's see what it is in those memories. There is a lot of information. I didn't finish everything. That's why. So, but that's the evidence and the coordinates of Otoniel that exposed him. Yeah, but those things obviously is not exposed in the traditional media because it's not convenient. But we know already. Yeah, so basically Ivan Duque is scared here. He doesn't know what to do. I mean, it's Scott, basically. We own and we expose it. I mean, Dan Cohen.
What about the current campaign?
You should educate yourself,
What about
man.
the current campaign?
The current campaign.
You should educate yourself.
I don't know. I think that the guy in the back is just, they call it in Colombia, testaferro. This is an associated business. I mean, I don't want to profile him that he has the face of narco or something, but very suspicious. Why other guy is doing with Ivan Duque and 3 kids? I don't know if they are all the 3 daughters. I'm not sure. But 2 older guys with 3 kids, well, that's questionable, no? What they're doing with their kids? So, in a pub, no? Apparently, no? So, that's questionable. And also because if those girls are the daughters of Ivan Duque, why they don't react? Because, let's say, a daughter calls somebody, let's say you are in the street as a daughter or son, and then your dad is somebody start fighting with him or like a verbal abuse to him. I mean, you as a son, as a daughter, probably you say something like, "Oh, stop it, leave my dad alone," or something like that. But no, the small girls just on the internet, just whatever. Probably they say, my dad is all the time like that. We know already, so whatever. Probably they say that, no? But it's yeah. I mean, having kids on the side and having Ivan Duque saying bad words, I mean, that's questionable because if people say bad words, it's because they don't have any argument at all in this context. So he basically put himself down more than the country knows, even way more. So it's after that he will say bad words.
He was president. Nyenye bought votes for him.
Get your facts straight.
You know about Nyenye. I know about Nyenye Hernandez. I've seen the pictures. I know.
So look at you just put your evidence like a fact, the fact straight. So like you just give like the evidence, like he say like a more. Yeah, look, just the evidence. So that's what I'm doing here. No? I'm presenting the evidence about Otoniel because at that moment, obviously, he doesn't have the evidence to show him, but he's telling all the things that he knows already because the investigations of Gonzalo Guillén in Colombia. Yeah.
No, I listened to the recording. He partied with you all night, man. He partied with you. You were drinking with him in the bar. It was a huge celebration. He was at your inauguration.
No partying. All the pictures with Nyenye Hernandez. Yeah, there's a lot of pictures. I mean, that's not. I mean, he cannot deny that. It's public, and it still is on Instagram. So it's sorry, but Ivan Duque really is in a bad position right now. It's really bad. I mean, it was like that was the worst day of the life, I think, and that's the this is the show of the year. I mean, this is the trend of the year or the video of the year, I think, because it's very interesting. Also, Albert Uribe also was caught like that in Argentina. Other guys say you are a criminal, you are a asesino. He called asesino. You're an assassinate. You know, you're a criminal, a murderer, basically. And yeah, in that sense, they basically talk about Albert Uribe in that way. But when you speak, when you see like when you call Albert Uribe in a legal phone interception. He spoke with another guy and he said, no, I mean, those guys, those are basically sort of a bitch of the Supreme Court of Justice. They are basically hearing our conversation. But he referred to the Supreme Court of Justice as the son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. They say that. Albert Uribe say that. So that's narco-paraco vocabulary, basically. That's narco-paraco way to communicate. So that's they say, that doesn't say a lot about a person. even not as a narco, even not as a president, but as a person in the way that how they behave. So Ivan Duque lost the control at that moment.
Means that the campaign.
You're absolutely misinformed.
We
and
know
you know
it.
What? You
We
should
know it.
educate yourself.
What about
man.
What about all the photos of you with Nye on Instagram? It's
Don't-
still
don't-
there.
You
It's
know,
still
you know
there.
what? Get informed, man. And if you're going
Tell
to record
everyone.
me, and
Yeah,
you're going to
okay,
record me, get informed. And you know what? You should see what his mother had said, what his wife had said, what his brother had said.
About him funding your campaign.
About he not having any relationship with me.
About narcos funding your campaign.
No, man, you're absolutely.
Come
you know,
on, man.
so
How
they're
many?
absolutely
Why
misinformed.
why is there always more and more
About
cocaine
the
coming out of Colombia when you're the president?
That's not true, man.
Come
You
on,
know-
that's absolutely
you know,
true. We
who
all know
extra-
it's true.
Who extradited
Yeah, that's true.
Otoniel? Who
When he said that who extradited Otoniel, and that really pissed me off, because I mean he didn't basically capture Otoniel, as I mentioned before. I was the one with my investigation team in Colombia. We put Otoniel in a position that he has to surrender to justice, because something that we did obviously in the organization, so that provoked that to him, and for that reason he surrendered to justice. That was our work, no the Ivan Duque's government at the moment with the police or the army. They didn't do anything, because Otoniel, he saved himself to the jurisdiction of peace, that to the HEP, that he surrendered to justice and that he was not captured. He said that publicly. Yeah. So and remember, the original purpose, it was to kill him, because there is two teams in the army that are supposed to arrive at the same time to that place to pick up Otoniel, because he said, okay, I will surrender to justice. I am in this coordinate. So the army went to that coordinate, but the two teams were separate, and the support team came first. So when the support team came first, they show up, and Otoniel saw the helicopter. He say, I'm here. So Otoniel came to the place, and then the army just put the handcuffs, and that's it. And they took pictures with him, and they kind of have fun at that moment. So when the other team that arrived, the first team, they're supposed to capture him, to arrest him or something, when that team came, they were not able to kill him because there is so many witnesses already. So many witnesses that they saw Otoniel alive with the army. So they don't feel the courage. They cannot hide that he's alive, that he was like basically alive before they kill him, of course. So for that reason, they say, no, we cannot kill Otoniel, so whatever. So for that reason, he was extradited so fast to the United States. You just try to shut him down. That happened like that. And I remember that Otoniel, he said to the media that he will appeal the decision, and he will put himself as innocent. He said that so many times in the media. But after I published the coordinates of Otoniel, after this big scandal, he said that he surrendered to justice and everything. He is guilty, and he confessed everything, and he will be in jail, whatever. He said that after I published that. So you see that information that we made, it created like an impact in him, and he said, okay, these people caught me already, so okay, fine, I accept all the things that the criminal prosecution, all the charges, basically. Yeah, so that happened, and that's thanks to my investigation team in Colombia, of course, and Canada as well. Yeah, so let's continue listening. So just to clarify, Ivan Duque didn't do anything against Otoniel. Nothing. You just to go pick him up. Basically, like an Uber service. That's what Otoniel did. Uber service, and then Uber service again to the United States. That's it. No more. But he didn't do anything, because they're associates, right? So you don't prosecute your friends. The situation, you go to the bar and party with them, basically.
Which government has the highest record?
Yeah, I know you were a little puppet for the U.S.
Oh, man, you
come
know
on,
what?
man.
You know,
we know.
where you from?
We know.
What country
I
are you
know.
from?
I
You
know.
know what, man?
What
Where are
cartel
you?
am I from?
What?
I'm from here, man. What are you talking about? Obviously.
Where are you from? Now, because these people doesn't know how to escape, so they went into the personal attacks, in the hominem attacks. That shows what kind of people are that. They cannot argument, that they cannot have a conversation. That's the narco state, live. That's a good job from Dan Cohen. Very good.
Come on, I'm obviously from here.
So you're are at fault for that too.
And also, I think like the guy in the back and also Ivan Duque, they feel a little bit intimidated because Dan Cohen is a little bit more taller than he's taller than Ivan Duque and the other guy. So probably they feel like, okay, we should do something here, like speak or say something or confuse or anything. But yeah, at the end they just were really embarrassed. I cannot imagine the face or how he behaved after he left this and he went to eat something. I don't know. He was probably very upset, of course, because he was caught. He was caught in the situation. He cannot do anything. He's totally embarrassed.
That's my fault that this guy took drugs for his money?
Yeah,
Let's take a picture. Let's take a picture.
Look at the video.
When he say look at this video and he's taking a selfie, basically he say himself, oh, I am an idiot. Look at me, I am an idiot, because he look at himself. So obviously, when people see, let's say Ivan Duque published this video on the internet, people already know that when he say look at this video, everybody will know that the idiot is Ivan Duque and not Dan Cohen, of course. So he's putting him, stabbing himself basically with that kind of attitude and try to pretend like, oh, I'm filming an idiot. No, the idiot, the whole Colombia know the idiot is Ivan Duque. So he's very silly guy. He's very corrupt and he's an idiot. I'm sorry, but it's like that.
The drug trafficker, man. This is crazy. And he's a drug trafficker. This guy's a narco. Fuck you, man. Paraco.
Ya cuando dice fuck you, man. It's because it doesn't have any argument. He said, okay, fine, this really blow up the mind, blow up his mind, and then he's just like explode the mind. Psh, that's it, done. That's why, and the way to explode that is fuck you. That's the only word that came out from that neuron. It's the only word that is left.
Paraco, eres paraco, sabemos todo.
Sabemos todo. Eso was excellent. That was excellent. Sabemos todo. Like we know everything about you. Yeah, so we know everything. Yeah, so he pretended like, oh, whatever, and he left. But later he come back. And this guy like a puppet, no? I mean, like the clown and try to do something, but he did worse. I mean, he tried to help, but he made the thing worse. So it's like two clowns basically in the street. Anyway.
Adios.
So he say adios, and then he go back. And then, so he tried to pretend like he tried to go back. Like it's kind of the attitude. Oh, okay, I will fight you. But
adios, Paraco.
Fuck you, man. Respect.
That's it. He just come back to say that, and then they go away. Well, everybody that live in the United States or Canada, if they start assaulting each other, police arrive and they go to jail. There is criminal charges for that. Nobody can punch each other. Like that happened in Colombia in the street. They fight, and even drunk people, it's even funny. But people just fight, and then that's it. Maybe now in Colombia, they consider that there is a criminal prosecution to basically assault somebody. But in Canada and US, it's a serious stuff. So they didn't assault each other. So that's okay for that reason, for the public peace and safety.
Paraco, asesino.
The one just
Asesino.
Finger. They show the finger. See, there is no other escape. So you just feel like okay, yeah, I am a narco. I'm sorry, but I don't know what to do. Oh my God. I mean, that's the result of being like a narco like that. I mean, there is no other way to behave in that circumstance when you get caught. You got caught, that's it. Done. You can't do anything else. You become a clown, a clown for the society at that moment. And I don't know if at that moment they start crying or something, or they hug each other, or who knows. But it would be interesting to see what happened after, no? But unfortunately, we don't have that scene available here. Yeah, but all the media, the traditional media, Revista Semana, Weeks Magazine, and RCN, Caracol, W Radio, these journalists, Calvas, Julio Sánchez Cristo, Félix de Bedud, even Claudia López, the mayor of Bogotá, everybody defending Ivan Duque. What shows that? Obviously that they support the narco state, all those media. And they talk about freedom of press. No, they want freedom of cocaine. That's what they want, freedom of cocaine. It's not freedom of press. So they are helping the narcos, of course. Yeah, so it's very interesting, this video. I mean, this is the video of the year for me. Really. I think so will be a better video than this. Of course, my videos of Otoniel. Let's see what happened, no? Well, we see like Otoniel and Iván Duque talking together in a video. That will be sensational. Like, it will be like magnificent. Let's see that happen, no? Because again, there is a lot of information. It's like almost 20 CDs, and they have lots of information. So I didn't reach that part yet, but once I see the whole thing, I will tell you what I saw, and then I expose those things here in my social media. Okay.
See you in jail.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing.
Oh,
And
absolutely
I
amazing.
can't believe he just continued to talk with you and kind of denying
Yeah, exactly.
any involvement with Nenye Hernandez. Who is Hernandez?
Because when this happened in the Congress and somebody speak about something, the congressman just left. He just left and he just totally ignored the situation. You know, but this guy stay. At least Ivan Duque stay to make the scene more funny, basically.
In all of this, it seemed really relevant to this conversation. And for our audience that's not familiar with this, can you educate us?
Yeah, I mean, for one thing, the fact that he kept talking to me even after
Yeah.
I said Nenye Hernandez,
Exactly.
he's not used to having critical journalists come
Not at all.
after him,
Not at all.
or if a Colombian journalist did that.
Yeah, because remember when Álvaro Uribe Vélez, the former president, when journalists came and they tried to interview him, Álvaro Uribe Vélez, in order to get away from the question, he say, next question, that's it. Next question, and then that's it. He said, siguiente pregunta. That's what he say. Next question. And that's the way to escape. That's it.
That they'd be like tackled, and maybe he'd send like a hit squad after them. Literally,
Oh,
so
yeah.
many journalists have been killed. And
No kidding, but Dan Cohen at this time is in high risk. No kidding. That's a fact. Because Uribe knows how to do the things, and Uribe, and this guy, the journalist Dan Cohen is in US, and US have the chacals, you know, the bad guys of the CIA. They try to apparently clean, in quotes, the people that they don't like it. So be careful. Because the second thing that could happen is that, trust me, you just keep this audio for the future. Hopefully no. But the common thing that happened with so many journalists in US is like they go, at the end of the day, they go home. And for some reason, the brakes of that vehicle doesn't work. And then suddenly it crashed in a bin or something, or crash in a pole in the road, whatever, and they die that way. So they say, oh, he died because of a car accident, or because he was drunk, or he was under drugs, whatever. No, he died because the CIA was behind. Usually they put like one screw in the tire, one screw a little bit inside, so when the car exceed the 100 kilometers per hour, that tire explode, and obviously create instability in the vehicle. The vehicle can flip in the air, and the person die. And there is one big ditch on the side or any on top of the mountain. I mean, people can really die, for sure. Yeah, so that's very important that Dan should know, because Uribe has the bad guys of the CIA are with Uribe. So be careful to Dan Cohen. He could be he's in a really high risk of being killed in the United States. Remember that another journalist were killed already in a vehicle accident. This book about the El Señor de las Sombras, the man of the shadows, he died as well. I mean, he died in a car accident, but we know already that the CIA operates that way. The CIA can control the airplanes when the presidents are flying at the moment, and then they do something with the tickets or the transponder or something like that, and then they don't give the right directions and the airplane crash somewhere. And that's how they kill the presidents or the Latin American presidents that are progressist. And that's the way how they kill. And if somebody survive, they're killed basically in apparently vehicle accidents. That's how the CIA does. So be careful. Be careful for Dan Cohen, because we are dealing here with a narco state. And some part of the DEA, they protect that. And they protect the AGC. That's confirmed. So be careful. But it's important to have the freedom of expression. Obviously, no, I don't think so that people will be that so stupid as well to kill Dan Cohen, because everybody will say, oh, I see, he died in US soil. So it was the CIA or the DEA or somebody in the government. So the government will look back. Look back. So the only way Dan Cohen go to Colombia Yeah, of course he will be killed there. Of course, I will kill him there. So be careful to Dan, because it's a very it's a situation that he has to look out more around. It's difficult. It's difficult. And he go to Colombia. He has to go in armored vehicle for sure, because it's a very risky situation. And based on the things that happen in Colombia, this guy could be a president of Colombia next thing, of course, because it's based on that, no? Whoever is popular, whoever is put Uribe in jail or say something, become popular and is president. I mean, I give the information after the Attorney General's fired me or resigned my position in the Attorney General's office. I give that information, obviously, to Petro, because that information could be forward, the information about the paramilitary infiltration into the government. I give that information to Gustavo Petro, so he will send to the Commission on Accusations to make to file the report. And for that reason, Gustavo Petro became more famous, and he said that. I mean, that is that's public, no? It's not a secret. Yeah, he said that. I think I have this one somewhere. Let me check if I have. I have that file. Let me check here. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I have it here. So I will share with you that file. Let's see. Okay, and let me check. I found a video here. I just want to double check if that's the video or not, to share with you where Gustavo. I did specifically for that reason, because some people think like oh yeah, it's here. I know it's different. 1 second, hold on. Hold on. I will share with you this file because I think it's important to share. I think it's this one, no? What is this? Okay, I got it. Give me 1 second. I'm searching some file here that I want to share with you. Let's see here. Okay, I got it. Okay, so I want to share with you this file. It's important you guys have that, so you guys can know the relationship that I have with Petro. Yeah, so that's the file. So it's there. Probably I will share here as well. Yeah, I'll pin this file at the end. Let me check. Let me pin this file so you guys have it on top. Okay, this one. The first message. Okay. Yeah, so I pin on YouTube. So this file, Petro basically talk about me, and they basically say that thanks to my investigations, he become more famous because nobody know him before, and that's why I said sometimes like I mean, this quarter of the hour that has of the last minute that have or the moment of famous time of Dan Cohen. I mean, everybody in Colombia will love him. Seriously, everybody will at this time love Dan Cohen for to be with that kind of courage and decision to speak out in front of the former President Ivan Duque. Yeah, it's very admirable. Yeah.
Colombia. So it's a real privilege to be able to do that here in Washington.
Yeah,
where,
of course.
Nothing's going to happen to me. Ñeñe Hernandez, the name I said with the selfie, 1, 2, 3. Ñeñe Hernandez. This is his most infamous scandal. Ñeñe Hernandez was a guy who projected himself publicly as a rancher, an entrepreneur, but a Colombian police investigation into a 2011 murder that Hernandez ordered incidentally found that he was a frontman for a drug cartel known as Marquitos Figueroa.
One thing that I know, according with the source, Ñeñe Hernandez was killed in Brazil because the partners of him, that means Álvaro Uribe, Luis Escobar Saldarriaga, they know that he has stole some information. So they have copy of the information of all the loads of cocaine, all the secrets that they have in that association of the narco state. He has in a MicroSD card inside the watch that he has. He has like an expensive watch in the wrist. And for that reason, when they kill him, they stole that part, so that way they keep they keep the MicroSD card. That was the reason why they killed it, basically.
One of the most violent in Colombia. Now, this investigation found that Ñeñe Hernandez was financing Duque's presidential campaign in 2017 and 2018 using stolen money. Then Ñañez Hernández was murdered in Brazil in very...
Well, the point like the narco state, so all the money from drug trafficking, they used to buy the boats, basically, those boats. And that's why Ivan Duque won, because everybody bought the boats, no? The money was for that reason. And there is some videos that people grab some person on the side and then they give some money after, because they show the certificate and to show that they bought for Ivan Duque or something like that. Yep.
Suspicious circumstances, but he left on his Instagram, which remains visible to the public to this day. He posted numerous photos of himself with Duque on the campaign trail, so showing Duque with a big drug trafficker, buddy, very...
I mean, everywhere. It looks like a... basically, this Ñañez Hernández is following everywhere to Ivan Duque. That's questionable, no? I mean, it's like a really enthusiastic. It's the fan number one, basically. But Ivan Duque doesn't know that he's a narco. Of course, they know. I mean, even with the wife on the side, I mean, it's really questionable, no? But it's true. I mean, he's part of the narco state. If the Ñañez Hernández doesn't exist, we have enough with Otoniel because they are associates. What else? What else they want to deny? What else? I mean, he's associated with Otoniel, including Uribe and Zapateiro, as I said before.
Close, arm in arm, very warm. We even see photos of vehicles that Hernández had bought for Duque's campaign. So with Duque's face and name plastered all over these vehicles. So Duque, of course, denounced Hernández when it became public, just like he tried to do it there in colorful language. But in addition to the photos of them together, there are recordings of Hernández boasting about his personal friendship and influence with Duque and how they partied and got drunk until 3 a.m, which is what I was referencing.
Tenemos presidentes, tenemos amigos que me invitaron con Duque y me metí como hasta las 3 de la mañana estuve allá. ¿Quieren con Duque allá? Sí.
Hernández's Instagram also shows photos of him with top army generals and police officials who were responsible for fighting drug cartels, but they were actually in bed with them, to the point that Hernández actually felt comfortable enough to post pictures of them together. So that's basically the short version of what is known in Colombia as ñeñe política, like ñeñe politics. So that was the first thing I brought up. One of the other key things I brought up to him is a guy named Alexis López Tapia. And remember Duque, when I brought that up, he says, no, Alexis Tapia, okay? In 2021, Duque ordered a tax reform bill that just meant brutal austerity, crushing austerity measures for an already extremely poor population. That sparked a national strike and massive protest movement, which, you know...
Yeah, it was massive. So this Alex Tapia, I'll try to find a video where the police invite, I think the same person, to talk about the internal enemy. So they see like all the protesters and the ethnic groups as enemies. So I had the opportunity to have access to a military intelligence report in Colombia. I have in Canada as well, of course. And they profile the ethnies in Colombia as a target, basically, the army. So they went against them, and also people in Vancouver and Montreal. I think in Toronto as well. Yeah, so they try to do intelligence in Canada. Can you imagine? So I report I report the Colombian army in Canada as a problem of national security, because they try to infiltrate Canada in order to surveillance Vancouver and Montreal. So that's totally wrong. So I report them, of course. Yeah. So now I'm trying to find that that training. The training that he's talking about, that Alexis was trying to give to everyone. So I share with you so you know that it's real and you can see what they teach. So you have your own opinion. Okay. So I'll try to find it while you guys hear this interview.
Got some coverage in the mainstream. There's this huge uprising against Duque. But to try to break the strike, Duque's Ministry of Defense and Police brought in this guy, Alexis López Tapia, from Chile, to give a presentation to the police on how to understand this protest movement and the national strike. So here you can see Alexis López Tapia standing in front of a swastika. He is a straight-up neo-fascist, totally discredited, but the Colombians, Duque brought him in to advise the government. So his theory was that anyone who dissents from the politics of the Colombian state is part of an international communist conspiracy that is decades in the making and may not even know it. It was taken very seriously by the government and put into practice when they the police and military killed 80 protesters, according to the Colombian NGO Indipaz. One of the better...
Okay, so right now I found the video that a source gave me. Of course, he was part of the police. He gave me this video. The full video of the training is 2 hours and 15 minutes, where Alexis López, the same person, obviously here is more older, because he showed a picture that he's younger, but how he looks like 1 year ago. So the title is Education, like ABSURDA and obsolete education. It's called Disipada Molecular Revolution. In Spanish, Revolución Molecular Disipada, from Alexis López and Pierre-Félix Guattari. Yeah, and these people were behind of the coup, the Colombian coup. They tried to do this. So I will share with you right now the link, so you have the evidence about what Alexis López teach to the police in order to be against the protesters. And that's very serious. And here is the evidence. So everybody, oh sorry, 1 second. So let me copy here very well here, so you guys have the title and everything, so you don't miss, you don't confuse what is this link about. So okay, 1 second, hold on. Everything is live here, so give me 1 minute here. So this is the one. Yeah, and try to share this link because that's very important, and hopefully somebody in US can translate the whole thing. Well, it's already translated, no? I mean, but at least some people comment more in deep about this education. And you guys in UK or other countries, United States, Canada, just listen. The whole thing is in Spanish. Just try to listen, try to understand, and then yourself write about. Let's say, yeah, it's totally wrong whatever they say, or it's totally obsolete the situation, and that's the education or the training that they try to give to the Colombian police. So it would be interesting that you guys have a look at this training and let me know in the comments. Okay, so I'll share with you right now the link. Here's the title and the link. Save that because that's the evidence that Alexis López give bad knowledge, or with bad intention, to basically kill people, and not to investigate, but just to assume like everybody is communist, and so you have the right to kill them. Yeah, so in the same way that the Spanish are right to in Latin America, they say because you are not native, so I own your land. Then they just kill it, no? So these are very obsolete techniques, obsolete ideology or strategy, whatever you want to call. Yeah, so I sent you already the link there, but this link is also important, so I prefer to link it here. I put a pin as well again, so you know, at least you have for some seconds more while you are saving this link. Yeah, so it's very important link. Yeah, so I managed to publish that. They didn't publish that video, but I have the original, of course, so anybody wants, just let me know. It has only 1,700 views 1 year ago. I mean, it's recent, no? 1 year ago. Okay, let's continue.
Better known cases was a protester named Lucas Villa, who was murdered in May 2021 by plainclothes gunmen while he was protesting. He became kind of one of the symbols of that period. It gets worse, Clayton. If all of that scandal wasn't enough, this guy first oversaw the theft of 70 billion Colombian pesos, which is almost $17 million, that was contracted for rolling out internet access in rural areas. Well, that got pocketed into a tax haven into the United States.
You know how much is 17 billion? 17 billion pesos is about 16.7 US million pesos. 16.7 US million pesos. So you guys in the United States and Canada, they have some idea about how much money they stole. And the money is supposed to be, yeah, that's as Dan Cohen say, to provide internet access to the poor kids in the country, basically. See, I mean, it's like a criminal mind. How they pretend to get rid of the internet that is important, but they don't care, no? They just prefer to steal that money, $16.7 million, US dollars.
Then he did everything possible to try to destroy the historic 2016 peace accord that his predecessor, the President Juan Manuel Santos, signed between the government and the FARC. So this was going to end 52 years of armed conflict between the government and the FARC that had killed hundreds of thousands and displaced millions. So instead, Duque's attorney general, along with the DEA of the U.S., ran an entrapment campaign against the FARC negotiators.
See that the DEA is behind, and the DEA protects the AGC. So you can see that everything matches, huh? Everything is connected.
And then it actually failed because it was so poorly done. So those former FARC guerrillas turned negotiators decided, wow, this is a total trap. They want to kill us, imprison us. So they decided we're going to return to arms, and they founded a new FARC iteration called the Second Marquetalia, which exists to this day. Then another reason, a big reason this failed, the peace accord, is because Duque's administration stole $500 million that was meant for implementation of the accord. So all of these projects to take the former FARC combatants and integrate them into the economy.
Yeah, that's true. And that money, part of the money was from other governments. I think United Nations as well give some money or through the international organizations, and suddenly disappear. That is why it's important those monies, I mean, have a little bit more control from the international organizations and not only Colombians. Because if you could say money is money, they stole the money. That happened in Colombia. I feel embarrassed for them, seriously. I feel embarrassed to be called Colombian because it's a lot of corruption. But at the same way, at the same time, there is bad people. Of course, there is good people. So we try to, in my situation, from the exile, try to expose the corruption and the narco-paramilitarism in Colombia.
Develop the rural areas, so instead of growing coca for cocaine, they would grow coffee and mangoes and produce to get to national and international markets. Well, that money to develop those projects was robbed by Duque and his people.
Gustavo Petro said that the interest to buy cocaine in the United States, it's getting low. It's getting every time less interest because right now with the fentanyl and the trunk, that is another name, another drug that is more powerful than fentanyl, are calling the attention of everybody. Basically, the trunk is the drug of the suicidal, basically. People take that and dead. I mean, this is not like a high moment, it's just freaking dead. So it's important that the international community have some word about it because people are not buying more cocaine, they're buying more like synthetic drugs. So that's what Petro says, but from the information that I have, the cocaine is still ongoing. The people that are addicted to cocaine already are demanding that in the United States and in Europe as well. So that's what the sources say.
So again, he is a major reason that Colombia is in basically a perpetual bloodbath. So instead of facing justice, now he's a fellow at the Wilson Center think tank here in D.C., funded by the arms industries and all kinds of energy corporations. I mean, basically, I just wanted to channel the pure disdain.
Palacios, the Minister of the Interior, when he was there before, the same. He was invited, he said lies about Colombia. He said that we have a strong democracy, things like that. I mean, I did a live as well. You can say it by Palacios, the Minister of the Interior. And also his secretary, he was working in the DAS, the intelligence agency, and he was working with the narcos before. Can you imagine? And he was the secretary in the Minister of the Interior while Ivan Duque was president.
That I saw that Colombians have against this guy, Ivan Duque, the former president.
No.
It's amazing. Yeah, you can live in Washington, D.C., pocket off of the money that you've used as a tax shelter that you've pocketed from the Colombian people.
Yeah.
Going out to fancy restaurants.
Sorry.
and whining and dining on an afternoon near Capitol Hill. Like, these are the people. You want to talk about the swamp? These are the people that live in the swamp. This is it's unbelievable.
That's right.
And I know we have a number of reports.
Yeah, for that reason, in Colombia, I encourage the idea. I really try to push the idea to motivate the creation of the International Commission of Investigation. That's really important, because in Colombia, without Attorney General's office, it's impossible to investigate anything. And the more time that passes, the more killings will happen. The same as the Luis Ernesto Escobar Saldarriaga or Claudio Silva Otarara, Claudio Javier Silva Otarara, the same. So it's important for the international community and the government that speed up the situation, because it's emergency. It's important and it's urgent. The creation of that International Commission of Investigation.
On Colombia, Dan, that redacted along. Dan went to Colombia. We're going to be publishing these reports very soon, a deep dive on Colombia. And so you wanted to say a few words in Spanish to our Colombian viewers who might not understand English. Is that right?
That's very nice.
Yeah, I just want to share a message for our Colombian viewers who, may not be part of our typical audience. Así en español, un mensaje para el pueblo colombiano. Recientemente yo volví de Colombia. Mantengan un ojo acá en este canal. Se llama en inglés Redacted, para ver nuestros reportajes sobre lo que está pasando en Colombia. Gracias a ustedes. Muchas gracias.
All right, thank you.
Okay. He has a Mexican accent a little bit. That's what I identify a little bit. No, it's excellent. But it's excellent in the Spanish. We understand perfect. No problem.
Thank you so much, Dan, and thanks to all of our viewers who are in Colombia watching this, or around the world who speak Spanish and are interested in this story. Thank you so much. Great stuff.
Thank you both.
Thank you, Clayton.
Thank you so much for watching this segment here at Redacted. We are live every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, trying to share the stories that the mainstream media will not cover. You should also come over and join our community of Redacted Rebels over at redacted.inc. That's our private locals community where we can share exclusive content that we simply cannot share here on YouTube. Come over and join the rebellion together right now by going to redacted.inc. We'll see you next time.
See, that I think this is important. Let's see. 1 second here. Okay. When I see, let me 1 second here. Okay. When I see journalists like him, like Clayton, he was a friend of Carson Tucker from Fox News. And I noticed that the first Clayton left first Fox News, and then he interviewed Tucker, and then Tucker left Fox News and then created their own, basically, a show or program in Twitter. So they call it like the car Twitter or something like that, or the show of car in Twitter. But it's very famous. They have millions of views, because I remember that moment. Before he left, the owner of Fox News, he said, well, he was interested because, the channel has like 3 million viewers, like 3 million followers. But when Jackson, he tried to make their own Twitter channel, well, he has Twitter channel before, but after he left Fox News, become more famous. He really exploded that channel like a lot. There is lots of views, there is lots of trends about him. There is millions and millions of views. So for him, it's better to be independent and not in Fox News. So that's a message for all the journalists in the world, wherever are watching me right now. If you feel like you have the courage to create your own program, do it, because this is the moment. This is the moment to jump yourself and then try to do your own content. But as you see this guy, Clayton, he said that he's every day at 4 p.m. And that's important because he created like a, the kind of the similar effect that the Fox News, the Colombian Fox News, the funny one, they try to do in Colombia, because they are every Friday, they expose the show. There is a funny show, like a comedian show. And everybody is looking on Friday for Fox News. Everybody is watching that. And they have lots of followers for the reason. So I think it's important. Everybody that have channels, try to create like a good content, and it's okay. That's what I see in the trend. Try to put like a one specific hour, so your followers or subscribers know that you will be at that moment and be at that moment, and create content of good quality and just expose the whole thing. Yeah, that's the way. Yeah, that's the way. Okay, now I guess I am already tender. It's 33 degrees here inside. How about that? Yeah, it's 33. I have my timer here, my thermometer. Yeah, it's 33 here inside. This is because since I installed those things, I'll show you. Or maybe here on the side is better. Since I started in the back, the foams and everything, so this place is more isolated. It's more warm as well, no? But at some points, like today, it was really, we're in summer right now here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And becoming a little bit more hot today. Today was a really hot day, but the heat is inside, no? So that's why it's 33. But I feel like in Spanish people say, en tierra caliente. Yeah, it feels good, no? Because Canada is cold, no? So I miss this warm. 33 degrees in my room. Wow. So I do have to spend the heater, no? All the electricity, no? It's because it's here. Interesting, but at the same time, it's a little bit hot, no? It's a little bit hot. Okay, yeah, that's it. So this is the analysis that I tried to make, and I want to point out that the relationship with Otoniel and Iván Duque is a fact. It's real. It's real. So I invite everyone to continue watching and to subscribe, obviously, to my channel. Just hit the subscribe button and hit like as well, so this video will be more promoted. Obviously, it's a 2 hours, 26 minutes video. I cannot make it shorter. I really want to have in-depth this reaction and also expose the results of my investigation groups in Colombia and Canada, especially in Colombia, that is more related with Otoniel. Because it's important that the Colombian the population and also the international community know the reality about Iván Duque, Álvaro Uribe, Zapateiro, and Otoniel, how they all four how they interact, and what is the relationship and what is the evidence. And there is more. There is audios as well. There is more audios. So you will see after July 9. That's what I said before, no? July 9, Sunday, I will start again publishing more. Don't forget, July 2nd, in 3 days is my birthday. July 2nd, don't forget. Donations is okay. Well, I mean, we need like a donations for everything, of course. I don't tend to celebrate the birthdays. To be honest, I just prefer just like any day, whatever. I was more like for when I was a child that people celebrate, but I don't care. I remember when I was in the university here in Vancouver, I have a friend that he say, that is my birthday, so let's invite everyone. So whenever I invite him to the pub, he said, okay, now I'm here, this is my birthday, so everybody can pay me the birthday. So it was forced. It was totally grown. I don't know if that's like totally the culture in North America. But everybody said, okay, fine, here, this is my part. But it was kind of rude. But in my situation, I don't tend to boast about the birthday. People know it's in my social media accounts anyway. Yeah, so you'll see that I born in 1974, July 2nd, so I'm Cancer. My Chinese sign is Tiger, so that's why you know how I am. I'm curious, no? Like a cat, since 1974. Yeah, so that's why I like the investigation, and I was been involved in the hacker part of the ethical hacking since 1994, basically when internet only starts in Colombia. And and for that reason, I came to the Attorney General's office to try to basically guide the information of the email accounts from the FARC, ELN, and AUC at the moment. Yeah, for that reason, the newspaper El Espectador, he called me as a hacker de la Fiscalía, so hacker of the Attorney General's office. That's why my name, Hacker Fiscalía. Yeah, and for that reason as well, everybody in Colombia, from the traditional media, they do interview me, especially in RCN and Caracol. One day, a journalist came from Montreal. He tried to interview me, and I give the interview, but he never published that. I mean, RCN censored that completely. So I posted my version, basically. I have a copy, so I posted my copy. So people know all the things that they are hiding. And right now there is a guy called Angel, that is the director of the news in RCN, and he's an enemy, but basically from the narco state. And he's working there in RCN. noticias. It's the director. So you see, everybody that doesn't have a shame about anything, they just do it. But that's the narco state. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. Anyway, that's all. Okay, so I just want to wrap up everything. Just leave it there for tonight. Thank you, everyone, to be here. I know it's a really long live, like a 2 hours 30. Well, my longest was 8 hours, just to let you know. So it's 2 hours and 30 minutes. Thank you for everyone that is here, to Maria de López, to Robert Manrique. Thank you for being here. I mean, it's not a lot of people around here at this time, no? Because it's already 1:08 a.m. here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. That means like a 3:08 a.m. in Colombia. Yeah, so I think everyone has to work tomorrow. It's only 33 people here watching this live from YouTube, and 4 people from Facebook. I know people needs to work, but I'm sorry if I made you sleep late tonight. But I have to do this. This is the only time that I have. During the day, I was really busy doing things that when I will expose with you. I will tell you exactly what I was doing at this time and what is the work that I have with Colombia. Because Colombia really worries me. And I want the best thing to happen in Colombia. And for that reason, I like to continue being curious and try to expose the wrongdoings of the powerful. That's the main purpose in this channel. Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much again for your assistance here, to be here and to share your time with me. And see you next time. And don't forget to subscribe and click the like button and the bell as well. Okay, listen. Okay, bye-bye. Thanks.